Hey, hi Ramanand. Hey, hi Ramanand. You there?
Hello, guys. Good morning. Ramanand is here, but I'm also here. Is there any? Can I help you?
Hey, hi Kritika. Good morning. Actually, I was asking Ramanand about the test which we have to submit till 6th, where we can find the link.
That Shravan said that you will get in some time. Yesterday,
Okay.
yesterday night it was not able. I was not able to do because Zoom was acting a little bit funny at night. I was not able to extract the attendance from Zoom. So I'll be doing it today.
Okay. Okay.
Hi Ramanan, this is Prakash here.
Prakash.
I also didn't get the link. I sent an email to you
Which one?
that for the yesterday's employability test. No?
Employability test happened yesterday, but those had to give an aptitude test. They gave it. I had
No,
informed
actually,
you all of.
I have given the aptitude test also,
Uh,
and as I had sent you the
the
email, no, I didn't. I missed the link
That
for
link
the.
has not yet been sent. As I informed, right? Yesterday Zoom was
Okay, you not yet sent.
only at
Okay,
night, so I was not able to
okay,
extract the attendance. So I'll be sending it.
okay. Sure. Okay, thank you.
It makes me very happy to see that you guys are attempting the employability assessment. How was it? I don't know how many of you all attended it yesterday. How was it? Is it easy, tough? What's happening?
Well,
So it was
lot of
different this time. ML section had two different uh, sections. Basically, one normal ML and there was an advanced ML.
Yeah, but
Compared
that's
to the
how we
earlier.
have. I think even the previous test was like that. I think
No,
last one.
in the last one I didn't attend. Earlier, I attended earlier ones.
Okay. But I'm happy you guys are attempting. It might be a little difficult, but it will really help you understand what many of the companies are looking for. That's why we are, what would I say? That's exactly why we are rearranging things and we're trying to revamp how the tests are, just so that you guys are ready for the industry. So,
Yeah. So they are, basically the necessary basics that one needs to know.
yeah, for sure. Great. Um, Out of four sections, we were to attend only two. This was our first test. Okay, sure, Tanchu. I hope to see you attempt all of them in the next one. Yes, if you have not attempted the last test, then you can attempt the next one, which is gonna be in the last week of March. Uh, yeah, but try not to miss them, guys, because they are 1 month away, right? So you miss out on some good opportunities because I send the top profiles to companies that come in. So if you don't attempt it, you will lose out on a chance for an organization to rehire you. Okay, great. So I think I'm seeing a lot of names I've met earlier. A lot of people I've never met. So for the ones who don't know me, I'm Kritika. I handle career services at Grey Atom. I'm really sorry for the background noise. It's a Sunday morning and I cannot stop my folks. So if it gets too difficult, please tell me. Um, Oh wow, Shivani, I like the excitement. Great. So today I'm going to talk about misconceptions about data science job search, right? And just give me a second, guys. Okay, let me quickly share my screen. Can you guys see my screen? You guys will have to be active on chat because then I won't know. Okay, okay. So, okay, another thing for the ones who have not attended a session with me earlier, Ajay is saving so much time by writing bye. You won't even type a whole yes. Okay. So, guys, for me, if I ask you for something, please put it on chat. Unless I get at least 4 or 5 responses. Usually, I keep it 10% of the audience. So, today should be 10 responses. No, it's just 40 people. Oh, okay, yeah. So, make sure you respond for me to be able to move on to the next slide. Okay. So misconceptions about data science jobs. Now, why am I doing this? I have actually done a similar session some 8 or 9 months back, but we realized that a lot of you still have a lot of doubts, a lot of open doubts, which I thought had to be debunked. And while I'm doing this, if you come across something that is still relevant to you and I'm not responding to that question, please make sure you reach out and you ask today itself. I would want to clear these overall, these basic doubts as much as possible because I don't want you all to not apply for the jobs. I don't want you all to miss out on some good opportunities just because you're scared, nervous, or you have some very basic concerns. Yeah, I want you guys to leverage every job opportunity that comes your way. All right. So here are some of the misconceptions about data science job search. We feel I need to be a master at all skills before I start applying for jobs. I will not get a job because I don't have relevant experience. There are no entry level data science jobs. Oh, so many of you come back saying कि fresher के लिए तो there is no job, मुझे job नहीं मिलेगा. Um, Deep learning is a must. Without deep learning, I will not get a job. Big data technology is 100% compulsory necessity for us to know. And I feel the need to, feel really ready for jobs. I just need one more project. There's always that one more project. There's always that one more thing you want to add to your resume. There's this always one more certification. It's never ending. So these are some of the overall misconceptions, and let me go into detail. Okay, I need to be a master at all skills before I start applying for jobs. Believe me, that's not humanly possible. If you want to become a good data scientist, it's gonna take a couple of years of working in the industry as a data scientist or one of the different roles that come under the umbrella of data science for you to really become an expert. You cannot become an expert with a course. You cannot become an expert within 6 months of internship. Okay, it's not going to happen. So why I'm saying this, it's not to scare you or tell you that no, you can't do it. What I'm trying to say is it will be a slow process. You will learn slowly. You learn quite a bit of it on the job. You will learn quite a bit of, obviously your fundamentals have to be strong. Your fundamentals are, I think, the basics. It forms the foundation for learning. Your fundamentals have to be really good, but only when you start really applying them, when you start solving real world problems, when you start thinking from a business perspective, when you start working with companies, that's when you really get your hands dirty. That's when you really practice and learn on the job. So don't stop yourself. Don't be like, I cannot apply for jobs because I don't know this, I don't know that. If you feel your fundamentals are strong, if they're good enough, go for it. Just go for it. Apply for the job. You will never know everything, and it's not that you won't know everything, but the hiring partner is looking for that. On in complete transparency, if you ask me, uh, HRs, they expect you to know everything. HRs probably will come to you and be like, I want you to know this, this, and this. But the hiring team, the tech team, they know it's not humanly possible. So they will not expect everything from you. They will not. Don't worry. How many of you have actually not applied for jobs because you thought you don't know most of it? Or how many of you have actually gotten a call or a response from a hiring manager, uh, and they're like, okay, we want you to know sun, moon, and the stars, everything under them? Not yet? Okay, good. Not applied once only. Very good. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Job descriptions ask for a lot, so we don't apply. Okay, guys, y'all need to start applying. Like, there's no reason. I'm telling you, like I said, these job descriptions, they are pretty much like everything under the sun of data science. Or you're saying you know data science, you should know this, you should know that, you should know about every latest technology, you should know everything. That's what they tell you, but inside even they don't expect that, because they know that's not naturally possible. So please don't stop yourself from applying, because a JD asks for everything. If you know 30% of it, believe me, 30% sounds like a very small percentage, right? And it is. So if you feel, you look at a JD, you know 30% of it, just apply for that job, because you can learn the rest of it on the job. Your fundamentals have to be strong. That's about it. Okay. You definitely need to know how a project works end to end. I think this is something I've always spoken about time and again. When you look at a project, a data science project, anything that's involving machine learning, make sure you know how it starts and how it ends and what the different parts of the whole process are. You don't need to know everything in great detail, but if you at least understand the whole workflow, that will really help you conceptualize these business problems and convert them to data science problems better. That way you'll be able to present your projects better, you'll be able to give a better understanding of the questions that are thrown at you during your interview. Yeah. And try to be the master of at least one skill. So some people really like data wrangling, some really like finding insights. The different people have different interests, and different people, again, I want to go back to what I always say: identify your superpower. Identify your superpower. I remember a lot of us were like, okay, I really enjoy, you know probably identifying a good data science problem, like identifying a business problem and converting that to a data science problem. Somebody else might be like, I really like identifying the insights and sharing that with the different stakeholders, because my communication skills are really good. A third person might be like, I'm great at cleaning up the data. So you need to really identify what is it that you enjoy versus what is it that you're good at. These two may or may not be the same, and that's okay. But you just need to at least identify it so you can master it, because that's these two things: what you enjoy and what you're naturally good at. This is what you have to spend most of your time in to master it, and then you can present it as your expertise. Okay, so this was one myth. So you don't have to be a master of all skills, master at all skills before you start applying for jobs. You just need to start applying for jobs today. Also, one quick tip for the people who have joined the call today: applying for jobs on over the weekend is actually a bad idea. If we've done some market research, we've looked for all of that. Applying for jobs on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays tend to give you better responses, tend to give you more. HRs tend to get back to you faster when you apply on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, because that's really when they check. If you're applying over the weekend, your profile might get buried under a lot of other profiles, things like that. They might miss out on it. You reach out to someone on LinkedIn, they might not see it. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are actually the best days to apply for jobs, at least on LinkedIn. Yeah, this is something I have found, my marketing team has found, so maybe you want to try that. Okay, moving on to the next myth. I will not get a job. How do they search the resumes? Okay, I'll come to this, Sham. Hold on to your question. I'll come back to that. Hiren, you're doing some really good work. I loved your assignment that you submitted recently. Good job, Hiren. Others, if I want to collaborate with him, try that. Okay, I will not get a job because I don't have relevant experience. Bapre, I've heard this so many times. that, oh, I have education experience, they will not take me because the academic background. I have non-tech background. I don't have a background, industry background at all. I'm a fresher. It 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 matters that you have experience. What experience? Of course, if you have data science experience, it is a plus. But not having a data science experience is not a minus, right? Yeah, it is important if you have any amount of experience. Now, whether you come from the education background or if you come from the biotech background or marketing or any background for that matter, it really um, it really shows that you have worked in the industry. You know people, you know how this works, you know how business works, you know how one is expected to function in a company, you understand how professionalism works, you know how teams function, how management functions. These things, it's a knowledge no one can take from you. It's a knowledge that a fresher will not have. So firstly, I want to talk to people who have any kind of experience. Stop bogging yourself down with it. Believe me, it's about how you present yourself. If you go up there and be like, yeah, oh, I also bring experience, I've worked as in business development, so I really know how revenue works, and when you know how business and revenue work, you can convert any business problem to a data science problem. You know, so it's really important for you to start valuing the experience you bring in. Yeah, for people who are freshers, for y'all also, so you don't have to worry so much. I know a lot of companies are like, we don't hire freshers. It's okay. Sometimes you probably don't want to work for a company that does not value freshers who have great skills. Like, I know some people here right now whose work I've seen very closely, who might be freshers, and they're damn good. They're damn good. Like, if I had to hire, I would hire them. But a lot of companies are not hiring them because they are, I don't know. I have to look for a very nice word to say that it's they're the ones missing out on good candidates, right? But believe me, there are plenty of companies that are open to hire freshers. I know of a lot of people who have. So you just need to be confident. Okay, which one to data analyst or data scientist? Sanjay, if you could retype your question, like just elaborate a bit on your question. So yeah, guys, your skills matter the most, and if you have any kind of experience, that's good experience. Don't try to hide your experience, even if it's non-tech. Okay. You can't magically add experience to your resume, but you can definitely add value to them. How do we approach and where to start? How do we approach what? Guys, your questions are really vague. Just elaborate a bit. How do we approach what and where to start? Are you talking about how to approach jobs and where to start applying for jobs? Okay, I'm gonna wait for you to. How to approach jobs in data science? Okay, LinkedIn jobs is really the best place if you ask me. Plenty of jobs there. Okay, how can you do this? You how on like have you guys used the LinkedIn jobs section? If you go to LinkedIn, it has a jobs section and you can search for opportunities there. And it's amazing. They have the most relevant of jobs. They have good filters. You can filter it out according to city, everything. And if you perform really well, Greatom will also share your profile with companies. I have recently shared some of the very strong profiles with some good organizations, and we're waiting for them to get back. Yes, Rishikesh, I agree. Most of them don't really respond, which is why we need to follow up with them. We need to send them an email. We need to follow up on LinkedIn, and we cannot stop applying because some of them don't reply. Data analyst and data scientist are two different things. So data analyst is a subset of data scientist. A data scientist is someone who's ideally able to, run a project end to end. That is from the point of converting a business problem to a data science problem, getting the data, identifying where the data comes from, cleaning it up, organizing it, running a model, identifying, getting insights, and then communicating those insights to the hiring partner. So that's a data scientist. A data analyst is usually the one who runs the model and gets insight. Again, these are just terminologies. Companies don't really know these things very well. So they might be hiring for a data scientist, but they'll call you a data analyst. They might be hiring for a machine learning engineer, but they'll call you a data scientist, which is why we say don't go with names, just apply. For freshers, it's difficult to search for jobs on LinkedIn too. Not really. I know a lot of people who have transitioned by looking for opportunities on LinkedIn. Also, what people do is, at least for freshers, what I've seen is they have reached out to hiring partners directly on LinkedIn. Because they are freshers, they have nothing to lose. It's amazing the kind of confidence I see. Just reach out to CTOs, product head, and they're like, okay, I'm this person, I've studied this, and my project is this. Please give me an opportunity to intern. I've seen a lot of freshers make that transition that way also. What skills we need to highlight? Whatever your best skills are. Yes, cold emails are a great way to approach, but please make sure your email is good. Okay, so how do we okay, so you need to build the right skills. Obviously, highlight your right skills. Your strongest skills should come out on your resume and your LinkedIn and your GitHub. Build end-to-end projects that you're passionate about, not just gray atom projects. You need to have independent projects. And always remember, quality over quantity. Having 7 projects on your resume will not help. Having 3 strong, damn good projects is exactly what you need. So yeah, quality over quantity, and make sure you are able to explain projects end to end. That is from point A to point Z. Okay, yeah. So there are no entry level data science jobs. Something that I think someone just mentioned, that for freshers there aren't enough opportunities. So believe me, there are a lot of opportunities out there. The pandemic is pretty much over, not in terms of how much it's affecting people, but how it has affected the industry. Companies that had stopped hiring are back to hiring, and they're hiring in full swing. This is March, so yes, they're hiring a lot. There are a lot of opportunities out there for interns, minterns. Minterns are people who are taking internships in the middle of their career. So there is internships available, there are entry level jobs available, there are experience level jobs available. I am seeing a big inflow of opportunities. I mean, to the extent where I'm also sharing some good profiles with Google. It's that much. Everyone is hiring. So guys, if you're telling me there are no entry level data science jobs, then I want to ask you, are you looking enough? Small to mid-sized companies are looking to catch hold of AI bandwagon. Yes, a lot of startups are also looking to hire. Don't be very picky about, I don't want to join a startup, I want to join a MNC only. If you're entering the industry from a very different domain, then believe me, startups are your thing. That's where you learn the most. It's amazing. It's amazing how when you're working in startups, you really get your hands dirty. You put it everywhere, like all sorts of work. If there is any work left anywhere, you pick it up and you do it. That's how startups work. And learning it's a steep learning curve when you work in startups. So I would say, if you're beginning your career in data science, startup is your place to be. You might not get a lot of guidance, which is why you'll have to do a lot of self-learning. But the pro of working in an MNC, you get a lot of guidance. You get someone senior who you can ask questions, who would respond to you. But if you're saying there are no entry-level data science jobs, Kritika is not accepting that. There are a lot of data science jobs available, a lot of them. You just need to build the right skills and showcase it, guys. It's so important to showcase your skills, right? I've seen what you guys do is LinkedIn is completely not updated, your resume is not updated, your GitHub, it just casually shows two projects, and you're like, मैं apply कर रहा हूँ, I'm applying and I'm not getting shortlisted anywhere. That's because you're not showcasing your skills. That's because you're not putting in effort, guys. Recently I decided, let me revamp my resume, just because you should do it very frequently. And it took me I think a week, an entire week. Every night I sat for like 4 hours. It took me an entire week to revamp my resume, and I'm not even looking for opportunities. Imagine if you're looking for opportunities and if you think your resume will be ready in half an hour, then you're really not putting in the effort. You should really work on your resume on your LinkedIn, and ask anyone who has worked on it. They have gotten better opportunities. By the end of the session, please give us guided steps that how to apply and increase the chances, tips and tricks. I'm sharing some tips and tricks as and when we talk. Rishikesh, let me arrange for another session where I talk about how you can apply for opportunities. What else apart from LinkedIn? Sanjay, your questions are really vague. If you could just elaborate a little bit, it would really help me. I'll be able to answer your questions better. World is changing so fast as it is in coming days, and we would have a robot security guard approaching us when we visit office for clearance. Okay. Okay, so let me move on to the next myth. Deep learning is a must. Okay, yes, this is something a lot of people have come back to me saying that I don't know deep learning, my scores in deep learning are not so good. Yes, deep learning, machine learning, these are all just tools to solve a problem. If you are unable to understand a business problem, look at it from a data science perspective, convert that to a proper workable DS problem, identify where you get your data from, how will you work with it. Then if you are not able to do that, whether or not you know deep learning will not matter, right? It just does not matter. You will have to 100%, you have to really know your fundamentals better. Deep learning, machine learning are things you can learn on the job also. Most of the industry problems are being solved with machine learning. Not everyone is looking for deep learning. You cannot be good at advanced skills if you're not good with foundations. Yeah, I mean, I cannot stress enough on this. If your fundamentals are not good, no matter how much of deep learning you know, it won't matter. You will end up learning new skills every day at your job. 100%. Okay, there's some questions here. Yes, there will be a Q&A towards the end. How do I improve my resume to clear their auto check-in resume or any website that can help? I will request Ramanand, why don't you share the resume sessions recording with Aishwarya? I think she has some questions around it, and it would be helpful for her. What else apart from LinkedIn for job search? I rely greatly on LinkedIn, Sanjay. Of course, there are other portals like Hirist. There are a lot of other portals like Naukri. If not portals, participating in hiring challenges on Analytics Vidya, Machine Hack, HackerRank, all of this also gives you opportunities where they're purely looking at you on the basis of your tech skills, right? So you can do those also. Other than that, other than that, a lot of our learners have gotten placed through Grey Atom because we look at some of the strong profiles. If you're someone who's performing well in employability assessment, if I've heard from you, if I know your communication skills are good, I will also share your profile with some of the companies. So these are the different ways. There are actually a lot of them. Okay. All right, I think I can move on to the next section. You need to feel ready before you apply, or I just need one more project to apply. Okay, how many of you have gone through this? I need one more project syndrome. I'm going to call it one more project syndrome. Is it because I tell you? Because I do this all the time. Do you have that project? Do you have a strong project? Okay, I need at least one more project syndrome. Yes. Um, okay. So I will definitely agree that a lot of times I have spoken to some of you and I've told you that you need to have that one more project, you need to have one strong project, because you can't go ahead with only your hackathon and your capstone and your grey atom projects, because five other people have done at least the same project, at least five other people, and what are the chances that they're not applying for the same job on LinkedIn, right? So it's important for you to have independent projects, unique projects, something that really shows your skills and stands out. That's why I ask you for a project. But you can't keep waiting for one more project, one more project. Apply today, do one more project, and apply again after a week. But don't not apply. Apply for jobs, guys. Don't wait for that one more project. That, oh, my one more project is gonna be better than the projects I've done. I know, and I hope each project you do is better than your previous project. But don't wait to complete that before you apply for an opportunity. Be outcome oriented and focused. Quality over quantity, quality over quantity. Always keep repeating that in your head. Don't miss chances to apply, learn from the feedback and reiterate. Of course, like if you've applied for an opportunity and if they give you a feedback, which is rare, look for that feedback, take feedback from me, and then apply for jobs again. Don't not apply. I mean, that's such a waste of your time, and your time is valuable. You guys are working really hard. Apply for jobs every week, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yeah. Um, okay. Exemplify end-to-end project experience. Cover the entire data science life cycle. Of course, if you can show you understand the whole data science life cycle, it's such a big plus. There will always be more to do, more to learn, more to apply. Will it be a hindrance if we've already applied and will not get a chance to attend once again? Not really, Chetan, they forget. Of course, there are companies like Amazon and all where there's this strict rule. You can't apply for another 6 months after, if your profile has gotten shortlisted and you were not selected. There are some companies which have that window of 6 to 8 months. But other than that, I don't think it should be a problem. Some quick hacks that can be helpful for the ones who are asking me for hacks. Here, build a job search strategy. Your resume needs 10% rework every time. Follow up in retrospect. Attempt mock interviews. Easy apply versus double apply, and interview preparation. Okay, building a job search strategy for everybody who's asking me, how do I apply for jobs? I would say apply for at least 10 jobs per week. All the people who have transitioned and had multiple offers, they applied for a lot of jobs. There is an ex-learner alumni called, I think, Aditya Jagdev. So if you ask him, Aditya, how many jobs have you applied for? He says, I stopped counting after 473, Kritika. My Excel sheet was not taking more. And he's got an insane opportunity. He's a fresher with great communication skills, very hardworking guy. He is working with Zycus with a very good package. So yeah, please apply for a lot of jobs because they don't reply. So if you apply for 10 jobs, then one person will reply. Create a laundry list for things you need, like like for your folder, your I would say your job search folder. So that would be your updated resume, your cover letter, your GitHub, updated LinkedIn, email templates that you want to send. Everything should be in that one folder. A list of target companies. If you have any specific preference, if you have any desire to work with certain companies, then you want to put that. Track your job search activities. Don't just apply and then forget about it. Track it. Even LinkedIn tells you what's happening. Track your job search activities, and you need to follow up also with a lot of hiring partners to check what's happening. And of course, retrospect and learn. This is basic how to develop a job search strategy. For each person, it can be customized according to your own needs. If you want to discuss that with me, I'm open to do that. But I think we are all capable of making a basic job search strategy for ourselves. But make sure you abide by the strategy that you make. Okay, your resume needs 10% rework each time you apply. Oh my God, this is something I've discussed so many times. Um, every time you apply, you have to go back and think about it. You have to look at the job description and revamp, or make those small changes, add those skills or relevant projects. I recently got on a call with one of you, and he has at least 3 versions of his resume. Depending on the job description, he changes the projects he's put in the resume, and it's so good, it's so amazing. That's exactly how you should do. But make sure when you go for the interview, what projects you have put in, because they might start asking you about a project and you don't remember about it because you have like 4 versions. Don't do that. Um, Chetan, I don't know if you'll have this liberty of space to be able to do that. If you have, then of course, why not? Struggle creating a suitable resume for me. Sham, Ramanand, I think you should share the resume session recording with all of them. I will not be able to share cover letters, but you can make one and show it to me, and I can tell you if it's good. Okay, before you apply for a job, optimize your resume, make it bot friendly. There is JobScan, all of those websites which can scan your resume and tell you how bot friendly it is. They're pretty neat. And then you have to remember, you need to own your own resume. It's your resume. They might ask you questions like, why this font, why this color? You should be able to answer all of these questions. Follow up and retrospect. Follow up is required at all stages. When you applied for a job and you're not getting a call, you need to follow up. You gave an interview and they haven't responded to you at all, you need to follow up over email or call or however they had reached out to you. You've submitted a solution for a challenge and you still haven't gotten a response, whether it's Grey Atom or it's another company. You need to follow up. What is the worst? You might again not get a response, but at least from your end, you should follow up, right? You should do your bit of following up. You want that job, you need that job. And always try to be your own critique after an interview. Don't go ahead and ask them, so what do you think, where can I improve? You're not sitting there for mentorship. Don't ask the hiring partner what you should improve in the area, but you can definitely think about how the interview went. You can always come back home and make notes and review it yourself, right? Make a list of what went well and what could have been better. What are some of the things you could not answer? List of questions that were asked. Share that list with your friends also, and prepare action items for the improvements and learnings. I think this is very self-explanatory, but it's extremely important. You're looking for jobs, your experience, each of you are going to have a very different kind of experience. Some things are very similar, that people don't respond, they don't send you an email. Sometimes they say let's do an interview, but they don't send you the invite. All of that happens, which is why you need to follow up. Always remember, following up is extremely important. Mock interviews. So peer-to-peer mock interviews, and you can use Pram. I really like the platform Pram. We've spoken about it so many times. Please look it up. You can also YouTube how to use Pram. A very good platform for you to try peer-to-peer mock interviews. Do that. It will help you. It will help you practice your questions. It will help you. So when you do mock interviews with your friends, you can really grill each other, and it's okay to grill each other because it will prepare you for the industry. So try mock interviews with your friends. You can ask them questions. You can sit in trials and do it, if not dials. But definitely try mock interviews. Any questions so far? Okay, great. Don't sleep. Okay, so what is easy apply versus double apply? Somebody asked me the same question, right? So easy apply, we really don't know if it works. LinkedIn has an easy apply option for a lot of job opportunities. Now I want to tell you how it is on the other side. So when I was hiring in my previous organization, we opened some opportunities and we opened the easy apply option. When we had the easy apply option, let me tell you what happened. Guys, can you give me a second? I want to get myself some water. Is that okay? Give me 1 second. Oh,
Sure.
thank you. Just give me a second. Okay. So so we opened the easy apply option on LinkedIn in my previous company when we were hiring, and I want to tell you how it looks from the other side. Um, so when you open easy apply option and people apply for the opportunity, it converts all the resumes to one format. All the resumes to one format, and it also exports some information from your LinkedIn profile. Now, when they convert everything to one format, if I download, I would ideally have, like every week, I would ideally have a PDF of 200 pages or let's say 250 pages. And it would just, it would stitch all the resumes together in that one same black, blue, and white format. And the whole thing would come to me as one document. Yeah, I can't show you how it looks, but I hope I'm being able to explain. So it's like all resumes are stitched together in one document. Now, why that's a problem? When my hiring team would, after exporting it, I'll just give it to them and they would scroll down. What they would ideally do is, yes, it looks like a boring ebook. Can I repeat? Yeah, of course. So in an easy apply option, I'll tell you how it looks from the back end, from the back side, from the other side of it. Um, what LinkedIn does is, in easy apply, it stitches all the applications, all the resumes, and whatever information they extract from your LinkedIn profile. They stitch everything to one document, like a long ebook, right? And everything is the same color. So basically, I'm looking at, say, Shivraj, Bhavishya, Aishwarya, Chetan. Everyone's profile is back to back, all in one document, and it all looks the same. What happens in this case is, I ideally used to give it to my HR intern, or I used to give it to my assistant. And what she would do is, she would just look at the keywords for each profile, and she would highlight a separate Excel sheet. She would tell me that, these are the 5 people who have the right keywords. Now, chances of her missing out on certain profiles was very, very high. Very high, because every profile looks the exact same. So while I'm scrolling Shivraj, Bhavishya, Chetan, I totally missed Aishwarya. Totally missed Aishwarya, and she wouldn't even realize that, because the profiles look the same. They probably have similar content because it's the same domain of work. It has the same skills. So she's missed some profiles. Imagine. It really works like that. Some people don't even bother skimming so much. They just look at the first 5 profiles and they're like, let's just go with this. So easy apply is a very bad idea. If you ask me, chances of a company getting back to you after easy apply is very, very low. If they have done that, then they're really looking to hire. So easy apply is not enough. That's when we identify what works is double apply. It has worked for a lot of people. Let's see if this works for you. Here, what you do is, when you see there's an opportunity in an organization, you also go to their LinkedIn page, look out for who is hiring, all the people, reach out to them, just have a templatized message ready and paste that and connect with them, and then take it from there. The other way is, you go to that company's website and apply. Now, let me also tell you how that works. When I was again hiring in my previous company, we used to also open these opportunities on our careers page on our website. Now, if you apply through LinkedIn, it all comes to my HR's inbox, or it comes to the LinkedIn inbox. So I would have to use my credentials, open LinkedIn. I have a set of profiles that have come to me, that people who have applied on LinkedIn. That's one way. Now, if people apply on my company's portal, it used to hit my inbox directly. You've seen how websites have the little tabs. You need to write information in all of those tabs, some 8 or 9 tabs they'll have. There'll also be a section as to why I should hire you. Sometimes they ask you those questions, right? So if you just fill in that small form, then that application directly would hit my inbox. What are the chances I'm going to see your profile on the LinkedIn application thing versus I'll go through your profile on that's hit my inbox early in the morning? Which one? The second one. Yeah, of course. So my inbox, chances of me looking at your profile in my inbox is way higher, which is why double application always works, right? Also remember, if you have applied to double application, it has hit someone's inbox, and that person or another person is looking at your profile through Easy Apply also. So that's great, right? You're reinforcing your name on their mind. And it's okay if they see your name again and again and again. It's really okay. So make sure you double apply like that. Another thing is writing them an email. If not all contact details are not available, but if you can find the email ID of the HR for the info, if you see a company is applying, then sending an email to the info, that info at the rate that company's basic reaching out contact detail. You can actually email them also that I'm looking to apply, and I heard you guys have an opportunity. I saw it on LinkedIn. You post that link, you hyperlink it, and you tell them that I want to apply and here's my profile. Koi na koi to dekhega na. I know that's a lot of work. All of this sounds like a lot of work, but when we need an opportunity, we are ready to do all that work. So that's double application, always works. Easy apply. I am not very confident about it. Okay, interview prep. Some questions that you need to ask yourself. Do you understand basics and foundations of what you have learned? If yes, start practicing and solving problems, which is why I've been talking about how important your foundations are. Throughout the session, I've spoken about it. It's really important for you to understand your foundations, be able to respond to basic questions. You should be able to understand how end-to-end data science, your basic workflow is, how a data science project works end-to-end, and how you can convert business problems to data science problems. Now, are you able to understand business and break it down? Again, same thing that I just said. And do you have the right project? If yes, start practicing mock interviews and start applying. If you don't have the right project, do it today. Again, don't go into I need that one more project syndrome, but at least have a couple of strong projects on your profile. Don't apply without a project. Yeah. So you do that, and I think you will be really ready for the interview. And that is it in terms of myths. Let me open the house for questions. Prangya, yes. Yes. Deployment also. We have sessions, where we're teaching deployment and all that. I hope you guys attend the other career sessions also. Suresh, you were looking for a Q&A session towards the end. I'm here.
Yeah, Kritika, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Hope you are too doing good.
Great. Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah. So I have 3-4 questions noted down to discuss at last. So should I continue?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So first is Kritika. Like I heard so many times, like they give us some case study and they ask us to work on it, right? And in that short span of time, maybe that 30 minutes or 1 hour, something like that. So in that, what they really expect from us, could you please actually, elaborate on that so that
Okay.
we'll get on some rough idea
Yeah.
of that, what they're expecting from us on what we should do in that.
Yeah. So Suresh, let me tell you from a very hiring partner perspective. I will not be able to help you technically, but my understanding of this whole thing. So when they ask you, when they give you a business problem, what they want to basically see is how your approach is, whether you are considering different options or not. They don't want you to do the maths and show it to them, like the stats of it. They don't really want. They don't want to see great detail unless the company has specifically asked for it. Unless that's the situation, they don't ask for it. They usually, an organization wants to see whether you are able to grasp the business requirement and convert that to a data science problem. Whether you are someone who is able to drive a project independently, and whether you have your foundations strong enough to be able to really solve this problem. They want to see what are the different solutions you can offer instead of just one. And if you're offering one solution, then what are the different solutions you thought of and decided to not go ahead with? And that's it. They don't want you to do it and show it to them. They just want to see, what you're thinking.
Okay. Yeah, what understand like what approaches we can get and why that one is preferred on the top of others, something like that, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Yeah. And next is Kritika, like I see like for example you mentioned now the next hello.
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
someone
yeah.
mute? I'm getting a lot of noise actually.
Okay. I think that wasn't me, but okay, go ahead.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So like you mentioned, like the employability test will be on I mean at the end of March now, right? Next
Yeah,
month, right? So in that period, like so for example, one of the tests were given yesterday, last night, right? And we'll be submitting that in the next week. So
yeah.
for this whole month of March, the sharing with the hiring partners will be done on the basis of this current test. Is that correct?
Um,
Throughout this month.
to a huge extent, yes.
Okay. And the same question I think someone asked in between, like, could you please share some of the sites other than LinkedIn and Naukri, like which you prefer or which you feel like we can get the response from there, where we can apply for the jobs?
In complete honesty, I have seen LinkedIn as it more, it's dominating the market right now. Even Hirist is good. I've heard good things about Hirist. LinkedIn, I personally don't really trust any of that much because it's Indeed and Naukri and all. I've seen a lot of forgery happening. A lot of consultants will write hiring for MNC and all that, and you don't want to get stuck in all that. So LinkedIn is, so if anybody who's serious about hiring is hiring, they will put it on LinkedIn because it's also not very expensive. So because I've been on the other side, believe me, it's not very expensive. LinkedIn has the most serious and sincere people looking to hire. But the other one that I like is Hirist.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And the next, thank you. Next one is it? I mean, it is a good choice, or is it really? I mean, matter if we take the membership on the LinkedIn?
Oh, premium membership? No,
Not required, right?
no,
I mean, like on the basis of that, whether they provide us a lot of opportunity compared to having not membership, something
no,
like
no,
that.
no.
Okay. And the last question from my side is, if possible, could you please share the contact number and the time when we can connect with you if required in case of some doubts or something like that?
Contact number, no.
Or,
What we
yeah.
can do is, I have a link where you can book my calendar for a one-on-one discussion, and I will send that to you guys on Slack. We can take it from there. But one more thing, if you are coming for a discussion with me, there are a lot of learners who talk to me, right? And I want to give everybody an opportunity. So you have
Right.
to appear for it. Like I had some bookings yesterday. I don't know, Deep, if you're here. I was waiting on the bridge and you didn't join. So, guys, if you're booking a session with me, please join. It really is unfair on somebody else's part who wanted to book an appointment with me at the same slot. And even you don't join, and that person also misses out on that opportunity. So make sure you do that. A and B, please come with a prep ready agenda. Don't come and be like, I'm looking for a job. What should I do? Okay, have put some thought. So that way I will be able to help you, right? You don't get too many calls with me. I want to be able to help you and make the most out of those 25 minutes that you get with me. So make sure you do your pre-work and come. That way we can have a really good discussion. We can debate, we can discuss, and we can come up with something more customized for you. Yeah, just
Yeah.
make sure of these two things, and yeah, book my slot. I would love to talk to you guys.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's it for myself.
Thanks, Suresh. Okay, I'm gonna start taking questions that I see on chat. Prangya, when you say end-to-end, okay, I think I spoke about this. For deployment, we have to learn SQL also. SQL is actually a very important skill. A lot of people in the industry are asking for it. And I don't think it's very difficult to pick. Again, I'm not a techie, but this is what I've heard from my friends who are data scientists. So I think you would want to learn SQL. Yeah, this technology is amazing, right? There's so much all the time. Everyone has to pick up something or the other that's new. Does opting for LinkedIn Premium membership make any sort of advantage? No. LinkedIn is going to hate me. I raised some question or request, but didn't get any response from Career Services team. So please check my email and respond as soon as possible. Adil, we will look into this and get back to you tomorrow. It's a non-working day today. We will come back. Anuj, you're here. If you ask me weird questions after this, Anuj, you are going to come back with some really good profile. You're going to. I had a very good call with Anuj, guys. Actually, I want to. If Anuj, you're comfortable,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. It was a really good call. I think Anuj is the person I was talking about. He has prepared multiple profiles, resumes. What he does is, according to the job description, he changes the project he's put on his resume, and then he applies. That it sounds like a lot of work. It might be some amount of work, but it's worth it, guys. And I'm sure that effort is going to help Anuj. He's working on his LinkedIn profile right now. So that way he's leaving no stone unturned, and I'm sure he's going to do a good job. But that resume thing that he's doing is so important, and so many of us miss out on that. Please take some inspiration and do that. Have multiple projects, have multiple copies of your resume ready, and please name your resume right. It should not be Kritika underscore resume underscore jobsearch.com underscore 1004562 whatever underscore amazing opportunity. Matlab, kya hai? Your resume name should be resume underscore your name underscore the job role. That is it. That is literally it. please, please, this is your resume. Put some effort in, renaming it right. LinkedIn accumulates all job feed from everywhere. While applying with LinkedIn, you end up with respected sites. Um, so no, so I'll tell you something. Yeah, that happens for a lot of the opportunities. The companies, they want you to apply on their portals, all of that. So that also happens. IIM jobs, IIM jobs, I think. Even they have a lot of opportunities, and LinkedIn has reposted, or they reroute you to that their website. So yeah, I think you can do that also. Naukri, I'm not sure. Nowadays everything is online. How does those interview process? How many rounds? Sham, we've had this discussion. How many rounds really depends on the company's protocol and what they feel is important. But online, everything online, your video has to be on. There's usually an assignment, and everything is followed. I mean, you have the assignment first, and then everything follows. There will be a lot of technical rounds, sometimes one, sometimes two, sometimes six, really depends. Naukri spams your email. Oh my god, Naukri, Indeed, Times Jobs, they really spam your inbox. What is unfair? I'm really sorry, Prakash, if I was unfair to anyone. Hello, Manjunath. I just completed my bachelor's degree, and I'm new to data science field. What tips or suggestions? Study hard and create good projects. Okay. What are the important algorithms based? It's a tech question. I won't be able to answer, Chetan. Someone wasting others' time. I meant, oh, okay, yes. Yes, Prakash, thanks for highlighting that, guys. If you book my session, come for it. Come with an agenda. Okay, I think I have answered most of your questions. Can I email my resume and cover letter to cross-check? Prangya, yes, I would ideally say if you have completed at least 3 or 4 months with Greatom, only then book a session with me. Because that way you are ready for the industry. If you are very new to even Greatom, then you're not even ready with your tech skills. So getting on a call with me won't really help. And if you get on a call with me, we can discuss your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn, everything. We can discuss it on our call. Monster.com, are they still working? I haven't heard of Monster in a very long time. Most difficult part for me is that I see experience of at least 1 to 2 years in jobs. So I'm not able to see opportunities for freshers. Does it always start with internships? Does it always start with internships? No, it does not always start with internships, Dhruv. There are a lot of places which directly take you. So what the companies have started doing is the first couple of months, usually that's called the probation time. They've started calling it the trainee or the internship time. And once that's over, they give you a pre-placement offer. So yeah. I've got a few calls with respect to data science job positions, but they're asking for relevant 5 to 6 years of experience. How should we reply? You tell them that at least assess me. I'm going to give you the same kind of skill set. So, yeah. I mean, I know this is something that one of our learners had done. Whenever a company would ask for a lot of, experience, they would be like, "Arey, mera test to leke dekho. If I can prove myself, then what's your problem?" And this person got away and actually got some good opportunities. They have been acquired. Okay, yeah. So we have some news about Monster. It is good too. Okay. Okay, I think Ramanand is sharing the feedback link. Guys, please share your feedback. I won't get to see it, but I'm sure the management will share it with me and I can revamp the session to match your needs better next time. There are job sites sent to you requirement of food delivery partner if you show the experience in project delivery. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm not even applying for jobs, and someone recently called me asking for if I would like to join a BPO because my English is good. I thought maybe I should give it a try. Just for fun. But okay, that was a joke. Thank you so much. I'm really happy, Shivani. I hope all of you had fun. I had a lot of fun. Sunday morning, I was like, I have to take a session, but this was fun. I loved your questions. Thank you so much, guys. Let me know if there's any question. You can reach out to me on Slack. I'm horrible at replying because I get a lot of messages. I try my best to really stay updated and reply as soon as possible. I'm really sorry if I haven't been very responsive. Thanks for your patience. I really appreciate it. And thanks for your kind words, guys. Thank you. This is very sweet of you guys. Ramanand, thanks for orchestrating this. Always a smooth session with you.
Thanks, Ritika.